The story starts with a girl getting home, calling a friend and discussing Yukiko's playful frustrations. The shy girl on the other end seems to quickly reject this, instead confessing playtime with her boyfriend doesn't feel that good. Naturally, with such an issue, there could be only one problem. His sword is too tiny. The size of the sword doesn't matter, only how it's used. That's copium. Try telling that to Guts and that massive blade of his. Feeling a bit conflicted, the shy girl seems reluctant to let go of her boyfriend Ma-kun, and the Gyaru girl teases her, asking her if he's her first boyfriend. Just then, there's a cry from within the house of someone else on the call, and it's revealed a young boy is having issues fitting his sword into a scabbard while showering. He cries, lamenting over the loss of the new toy. Unfortunately for him, he's been granted with an Excalibur so large he can't even play with it with his own hands. Nothing seems to work, and it's hard to believe he can even keep it in his pants. "I'm sorry, Sakura-chan," he whispers before washing it off in the shower. "I'll clean you up before my sister sees." Naturally, he isn't fast enough, and his older sister shows up to snap a picture of his situation. This is a Kodak moment. She cries before taking enough pics to be considered felony harassment if their genders were reversed, and then sending those pictures off in a group chat with her close friends. It was following this incident that she proposed something weird, and it wasn't even marriage. She decided to have all her unsatisfied friends come over and play with her brother. I'm not sure that's how siblings should act, but okay. Soon enough, the moment MC got home from school, her sister and her friends were waiting to catch him, dragging him into a 2-day, 1-night girls' gathering. Termed as a little brother sword appreciation gathering, it's like a cult meeting except that cults often go beyond worship and to copulation with the cult leader. On second thought, it literally is a cult. The Gyaru tells MC's sister her own partner just barely wins, but the sister only replies with a curt, "This isn't fully sharpened yet though." Before you know it, they've gone from just watching his shaking sword to trying to make it bigger. After all, practice makes perfect, and Arthur didn't master Excalibur in a single try. The girls cluster all around him, each trying their best to teach him sword play. The Gyaru uses her melons as target practice for his face. The shy girl lifts her skirt and introduces MC to the concept of underwear, while his sister sits behind him whispering unseemly things into his ear. "Yukiko, this is an actual Godzilla," she says, asking the other girls to compare his sword to their boyfriend's swords. The shy girl is flustered and admits he is bigger, thinking it looks like taking it inside will feel really good. As for the Gyaru girl Nagisa, she has this almost confused look on her face, and she says she will have to take a closer look. She could be a scientist with how closely and affectionately she examines him, as Nagisa immediately gets onto her knees and starts playing with MC's sword. He makes a cute face and she teases him about it, betting him he couldn't fit this inside any of the backpacks of the girls in his class. Our MC admits he doesn't have a girlfriend yet, which is kind of hard to believe what with being surrounded by 3 Wani-chans and whatnot. "Are you kidding me? This thing is too good to be used on just toys," Nagisa declares, sharpening his sword with her fingers in the shape of an O. "Stop moving your hands," MC shouts, which is something you'll hear both guys and girls use while playing in the bedroom. Unfortunately for him again, consent doesn't appear to be a thing here, which is somehow okay if it's a girl doing it to a guy. I'm sure Sato Kazuma would have a few words about this. Nagisa realizes she might end up flicking her switch and asks MC if he'll be okay with her as his first ever woman. Of course, this line is obviously a trap and she's just checking if he's a robot. Because what human man would say no when a girl straight up asks him to do the deed with her? Come on, guys are willing to sharpen their swords using a literal orange. Instead of the expected response, Nagisa instead starts rubbing his sword against her grindstone, telling him she won't let him come home. But if he manages to resist his urges, she might allow him to put his sword back into her sheath. She tries to tease him more, but it's obvious she's having some conflicted feelings about this, wondering how it'll feel when it ends up going inside of her. She removes the covers from her sheath and lets him insert just the tip. As the others look on, bewildered at whether she's actually going to do the deed, she relents a little and lets just the tip of his sword enter. It immediately parts the seas like the holy weapon it is, if you know what I mean. Soon enough, Nagisa gives in to her desires and lets him put the entirety of his sword into her sheath, wondering what it would be like to take it all in. The moment she does this, MC's sister gets really angry while MC himself ends up lost in bliss. "Oi, you there? Why did you just casually take my little brother's innocence?" she shouts. Evidently, she doesn't realize she was the one who invited them over for an Excalibur worshipping party. When Nagisa promises to take it out, there's an explosion and MC can't hold himself anymore. His elephant trunk of a sword reaches its full potential and MC starts moving his hips to the beat. If there were better music, you could say he's beat-sabering his meat. Nagisa starts saying some really non-Christian things, like how incredible his sword feels, how she's never felt anything like this before, and how she feels like she's being filled with warmth and happiness from the inside. Honestly, that's exactly how these acts should feel. Not that I would know anything about it though. As the elevator music plays in the background, MC remarks her sheath feels better to use than any other tool he's found so far. When MC tells her he's about to come home, she tells him it's okay and to pump his Wani-san's tires full of gas using his monstrous nozzle until she's too tired to continue. I'm not sorry about the pun. Eventually, MC loses his load of cargo and Nagisa lifts off, letting tons of milk spill onto the ground while she licks her lips. While MC's sister scolds the crazed Garu for her behavior, the conversation soon turns to the shy girl who was watching them the entire time, having a crisis in her underwear during that encounter. Nothing happens after that though, and MC is allowed to go and shower, reflecting back on how good of an experience that was. It's called a refractory period, ladies. Unfortunately for him, Yukiko visits him in the bathroom in her towel. As payment for seeing his wonderful sword, she wants to wash his back using her melons. I see this as an absolute win, but apparently, MC is too shocked to comprehend how lucky he is. She compliments his good skin and his girly figure, except for his manly tool. Yukiko tests some fun techniques on him using both her hands and chest, not really caring if her towel slips or if she starts to act really weird. "Can you try putting your sword in my sheath too?" she asks, confessing she never had a good experience with her own boyfriend. Thus, without too much thinking, MC starts doing it with her too. Needless to say, Yukiko discovers the pleasures of swordplay while MC learns to behave more like the typical anime protagonist, spouting all sorts of dirty language and taking the initiative. The bathroom is soon filled with squelching sounds and cute noises, as well as MC relentlessly teasing her about her boyfriend, eventually resulting in her joining his party too. Ever since then, both Nagisa and Yukiko have been coming over to see his swordplay, learning from him and enjoying his Excalibur. "I thought you used to say you would never cheat on Ma-kun," Nagisa teases, watching Yukiko lick MC's popsicle. "That was before I realized just how big MC's sword was, and I could never go back to that pipsqueak." With the two older girls' guidance, MC soon learns just how much of that 7 deadly sin the pair have, and they spend the afternoon playing together until MC's sister comes home, only to realize just how big of a mistake she made introducing them to each other. Though to be fair, it is kind of her fault, so what is she going to do, complain? Nevertheless, I can't fault her for being really embarrassed watching her little brother play with her friends. "Welcome back, Chiaki," greets Nagisa, who is still bouncing on MC's pogo stick. "We're borrowing your little brother," says Yukiko, who's sitting beside the pair with her melons out. Chiaki is obviously quite angry with this and begins to complain. "What are you doing? You told me you had to go first since you're busy with something," she exclaims. "Yeah, as you can see, this is something we're busy with. We're addicted to your brother's sword. Need I say, addiction is bad. It makes you abandon things normal people call important in favor of whatever it is you're addicted to. But as my biology professor would say, copulation is the most important thing to animals. So carry on, dear Wani-sans." Apparently, Chiaki doesn't quite understand this or can't see what's in front of her, so she asks them what they're doing to her brother. In response, MC cries out, "He's coming home," before the trio makes some cute noises. That's an answer, sure, but did you have to explain it to her like that? When MC pulls out of Nagisa's sheath, she starts making even more cute noises, and her face looks a lot like mine when I finally beat Milenia in Elden Ring. A droplet of MC's ice cream splatters onto Chiaki's face, and Nadhisa asks her if she wants to join them. "There's no way I would," she cries. "Why would I join a 4-person game with my little brother?" This is quite funny, since if I recall correctly, she was the one who snapped pictures of his Excalibur and sent them to all her friends. For some reason, MC looks really disappointed with her response and he watches her leave. In another room, Chiaki fumes at the nerves of those other girls. Deciding to have a play date with somebody else's little brother, she grumbles, "Who do they think they are?" Of course, as she stands there in the changing room, she wonders what it would be like to have MC's sword inside of her sheath. But she knows if something like that makes a mess of her, she'll be lost forever to Alabama. Unfortunately for her, this is an H anime and she's got a really luxurious figure, so there's really no way out. It's kinda like she's stuck in a horror film, only with copulation instead of death. I wonder what it would be like if she went Doki Doki Monica on them. But that's enough shower thoughts for the video. MC barges into the room and sees his sister bare like that, his head immediately filling with cute thoughts as his sister struggles to control her own desires. He asks her to let him use her scabbard, but she tells him to go ask the other girls instead. Unfortunately for Chiaki, she can't escape this loop as the other girls are already burned out from his swordplay. Somehow gaining 10 levels in strength and assertiveness, MC cabidons Chiaki against the wall and slips his blade home. It's already wet and he deduces she got excited watching the others play together. "There's no way that's true," she protests. "Why did you insert your USB, you idiot?" This angers MC and he immediately shoves it all the way in, making sure the connection between them is secure. It's really tight and narrow and he has to really apply pressure to get it in. But soon enough, he's showing his older sister his swordplay. She calls him cheeky and warns him not to get carried away after sleeping a few times with the others. Chiaki tells him she's had encounters with more men than years of MC's life, but he only takes it as a challenge. "Phew, you're quite experienced, huh? I won't be holding back then." Every one of MC's attacks against Chiaki's weak spot leaves her feeling dizzy, and her mind goes blank every time his sword finds its mark. I never knew swordplay could feel this way. Seeing her reactions, MC asks her if, out of all the swords she's fought, isn't his the best? Chiaki resolves not to let this go on any further and tries to deny it, giving him the age-old adage of bigger isn't always better, and she tells him to come home quickly so they could move on, as if it weren't a big deal at all. But MC doesn't back down and tells her he's going to make her come home instead. And with a bit of flashy and bangy swordplay, he gives her an ice cream cone so good it should be called a nice cream cone. If you know what I mean. MC's swordplay would probably put even Kirito to shame, and on two fronts too. 1. Kirito and Asuna haven't even done it yet, have they? And 2. Who needs 2 swords when you have just a single large one? You could, if you will, call it sword art opie. Anyways, our previous writer was fired for bad puns, so I hope you don't tell my boss about this. Following MC's complete destruction of Chiaki's sheath while pinned to a wall, he continues by pushing her to the ground and making her come home repeatedly, the opposite of my father who went out for milk. Not to mention, he filled her home with tons of milk. In the end, since her little brother never cared about the time and place, they started doing it everywhere. In her own words, her female instinct was seeking him at all times. Even when their parents were home, they would keep doing it in the bathroom as their parents called to them to eat dinner. Even when Chiaki's boyfriend showed up, the pair kept doing cute things together. When the boyfriend did it with her this time, she wasn't able to feel anything from it. So when the guy left to shower, MC and his sister started playing again. After all this time together, she's gotten addicted to the sheer size of his Excalibur, and he even makes her swear not to do it with anyone else except for him. How the turntables! MC's sister now joined his party, and the 3 girls made the Excalibur appreciation event a regular thing, with the girls each trying to make MC favor them the most. As you can imagine, a whole ton of things keep happening, and the girls' shits are now more than just addicted to his sword. They've become one. From that point on, the girls do it a ton with MC, and thus ends the H anime. Next time I meet my biology professor, I can tell him one more thing about addiction. You can't spell addiction without addict.
今言われるまで忘れてた？私が誘惑してるみたいじゃない。
Source: My stepmom's daughter is my ex. Like and subscribe, or you won't get 100 girlfriends. In what could only be described as a folly of youth, MC and the main girl Yume became a so-called couple during the 8th to 9th grade. As so many relationships of that age do, it eventually ended poorly, leaving the pair embittered at each other, as well as the very concept of romance. But destiny had other plans for them, bringing their parents together into marriage and turning these ex-lovebirds into new step-siblings. At the current timeline, we see Yume and MC disagreeing about where they should go. Each had their own idea about the places they want to go, but they couldn't come to a consensus. As their mother walks in, she asks what is going on. They both explain how they were waiting for her at the door. Both of them argue before their mother came. So soon after she leaves, they reverted back to their original behavior, disliking each other. You might be confused now, but think of this like Kaguya-sama, but between step-siblings. They started arguing about each other's attitude, given that they have a past. Yep, they were an ex-couple trying to hide it from their parents. Isn't that a bit awkward? That night, the family gathered for dinner. After eating, the once ex-couple washed their dishes together. Their parents were looking at them, proud of their decision to live together. But is that what the ex-couple feels like? After calling it a night, MC went to his room and read his book. A few moments later, Yume knocked on his door and welcomed herself inside. She complained about how long MC and her will be on a first-name basis, so MC asked her how she would like to be addressed. Are you thinking what I'm thinking? Yume replied that she wanted to be called Oni-chan respectively as the elder, but MC argued that they were born on the same day, November 3rd. What a coincidence for an ex-couple. Yume countered by pointing out that she was born at 11:04 a.m., while MC was born at 11:34 a.m. That's a weird thing to remember. I bet she waited long to say that. But he also pointed out that they're not even real siblings, so what's the point? That's when Yuma proposed a pretend game that they're innocent siblings, but sooner the situation will be unbecoming, so whoever gets caught will lose and be the younger one. MC agreed to their terms, and Yume went on her way and touched MC's things in his room like a normal sibling does. MC understood why Yume proposed the game, so he decided to play his cards right and approach Yume in the gentlest way possible. This reminded Yume about the boy he fell for before, whom she folded like a paper and blushed, not the way siblings do. This made MC proud and forced Yume to call him Anisan, and for some reason, this got an effect on MC that even he slightly blushed. Sweet Home Tokyo. MC acted cool about it, but Yume was bothered by how easy it was for MC to say hurtful stuff. So he patted her head, but Yume didn't let him and stormed off. The day after that, they went on their first day of school. They must bear each other even at school since they are classmates because of their surnames. While welcoming the students, Yume gave the speech since she represented junior high. This gave her a good first impression with her classmates and gained popularity instantly. Then there's MC getting annoyed. After class, some other guy classmates approached MC just to get close to him and make a move on her stepsister. Of course, MC wasn't fond of it, so he went to the bathroom to give it time to think. And those same guys went on to do their business while talking about Yume and her beauty. That would be awkward since they're also talking about his ex. Day went on and Yume went home earlier than MC. The next day, the same guys greeted MC and Yume interfered, linking her arms and pulling them close to her pillow. This surprised them, but Yume told them his younger brother wasn't fond of talking, but after they got to their locker, her mood changed. Like a two-faced cat, after school they were alone since their parents would be home late, so they decided to cook. While MC was thinking about what to eat, Yume remembered the sensation on his shoulder that made her blush. Ironically, their meal is also chicken breast. Even while eating, Yume can't stop thinking about that. She blamed MC for not thinking about the incident earlier, except MC forgot about it before Yume told him to. After eating, Yume took a bath angrily and she looked like her rubber duck. Until she got an idea and impulsively went into it. While MC peacefully read a book in the living room, Yume went outside with a towel. MC choked on his drink, not expecting Yume to go out so casually. His reaction satisfied her, so she played along more and sat down casually, saying it's what normal siblings do. Is it really? That's when her towel got loose and she almost flashed herself. That's when she realized what she was doing and MC understood. She thought he would do something, but instead, she covered him with his jacket, scolding her for impulsiveness. Yume stood up, but she tripped. MC was there to catch her, and they ended up on the couch, too close in the gap. How is that even possible? MC feels something and is about to kiss her for some reason, but footsteps can be heard and their parents are finally home. They can't be seen together like that, so MC forces Yume to hide inside their sofa, feeling pretty much awkward about what could have happened. In today's school subject, the students will do fitness tests. A guy named Kawanami approached MC and asked to be his partner. Of course, MC already heard it and knew he was befriending him to get close to Yume, but Kawanami assured him he had no other intention. I guess not everybody is attracted to Yume. Afterward, the girls went to the medical room to get their BMI. Yume's classmate, Minami Akatsuki, was so focused on Yume's melons. Minami invited Yume for having such a voluptuous stress ball. Let's wait for puberty to hit her. Yume explained that she also had the same problem before, which intrigued Minami even more, wondering how Yume gained such a thing within a year. Patience is key, my guy. Minami hugged Yume, thanking her for being her hope. I'm sure they can both feel it. After taking their BMI, they went to the gym and readied themselves to start their first set. Minami told Yume she was not good at sports, but it's obviously the opposite. Yume didn't disappoint them and saw MC and Kawanami on the other side. Seeing MC give up on his sit-up, Yume vowed not to be like him, so she did her best and reached 32 reps. They went on from a grip test to running the field. After finishing, Yume suddenly lost consciousness and MC was oddly there to catch her before giving her to Minami. How fast did he run to catch her? I wonder. They went to the nurse's office to let Yume rest. That's when she confesses to Minami that she was training secretly in her room, scared that people would think she was not worthy to be a representative. Minami thinks she's admirable and feels at ease that Yume is just a human with feelings. Because of that, they gain a bond and are now first-name basis friends. Every introvert person needs an extrovert friend. They went back to their classroom and saw MC dressed in uniform. He was teasing Yume and Minami could tell that MC was gentle towards her, making her flatter. The day after that, Minami was wretched after MC told her that Yume couldn't make it because of her fever. Kawanami was there to ease her up and tease, but that didn't do much. I low-key shipped these two. Minami told MC that she decided to visit Yume after class, and Kawanami also wanted to tag along. But in the end, it was only Minami that went there. She bought ingredients along with her to make Yume some foods. A sick person doesn't need a surprise. They went in and Yume was in bed sleeping. She didn't know that she got a visitor and almost asked for MC. Now that Yume was awake, they went to the kitchen and cooked porridge. While cooking, Minami was good at reading people and could tell that MC had a girlfriend before. MC didn't say anything about it, and Minami went to feed Yume after they cooked. The sun is setting, and Minami goes home. MC informed Yume that Minami was gone, but Yume only wanted to hold MC's hand to fall asleep. Seems like MC was the one holding something else. MC reminisced about the time during junior high when he and Yume were a couple who shared book reviews. They were a normal couple back then, but broke up over a small misunderstanding. But years later, they found out their parents had remarried, and at that moment, they knew they were doomed. Now they're siblings with a past. Back to the present, MC stayed there with her and did everything she asked him to do. That's when MC got suspicious and measured Yume's temperature to find out that her fever had gone down, and she was just pretending to be sick. MC scolded her for using him whenever she wanted, but since Yume is still recovering, he lets her off this time. Yume asked shyly not to leave her, so he assured her he wouldn't go elsewhere. The attachment issue this girl has. Let's reminisce about when Yume was obsessed with MC in junior high. She was fanning over an eraser that MC gave and put it on a chest with the other gifts that MC gave. She worships the chest as if it's a shrine, like a cult member doing a ritual she does at the end of every day. It's either midsummer or witchcraft. And in the present, Yume can be seen with MC's underwear, sniffing it like an obsessed girlfriend or sister. Ultimately, she blamed her relapse on MC, questioning why he wore the underwear. How are we supposed to wear it? She overthinks the situation and daydreams of her getting caught by MC and having her punishment for it. My girl got kinks. To hide her perverted doing, she waited for everyone to sleep and sneaked into MC's room to put it where it belonged. She went out and sneaked into MC's room, only to find him also sneaking toward Yume's room, holding her bra. Now this is awkward. Yume explained honestly that she relapsed into her old self and confessed she used to keep everything that MC gave. He brushed it off like it was nothing, but his red ear exposed him. Yume got shy and asked him why he got her bra. MC explained that it was an accident in his situation, explaining that the bra fell in the washing machine, and his dad passed by, so he had no choice but to bring it to his room. As for Yume, she took MC's story as her own without paraphrasing. Ain't that suspicious? Yume asked MC if he did anything saws on her bra, like poking it. MC denied it, but the weird pause confirmed it. That goes to Yume's denial of sniffing it too. Since they both lost the game, MC proposed an idea to give out an order that didn't violate the rules. For MC's order, Yume shouldn't meddle with his life outside the house. Siblings shouldn't interfere, right? Yume agreed and they went on. After school that day, Yume saw MC with another girl that looked like her in junior high. She assumed that it was probably what MC referred to as his order. The next day after class, Yume returned and found a pair of loafers. She took a picture of it as evidence and called MC to buy groceries on her stead, which was a lie. MC agreed and Yume waited for MC to leave before rushing into his bedroom. But she only saw MC. Minya was the girl who went out of their house. She felt miserable for not catching her. MC was confused, so Yume explained that she saw him bringing girls into the house. MC explained that he was alone, but Yume took a picture as evidence, and for some reason, MC asked to check her room. There was nothing, so MC was more confused than Yume, although he was acting weird over a chair and reasoned that he was tired. This made Yume overthink, wondering if MC and the girl were doing the deed somewhere. In reality, the girl was secretly Minami with a wig. She persuaded MC to marry her so she could get close to Yume even more and live with her under the same roof. It's a weird best friend, complex situation. MC didn't know what to do, so he called Kawanami and asked for help. The only advice Kawanami can give is for MC to reject her repeatedly. If that won't work, Kawanami gave MC an idea that shocked him. Later that night, MC went to Yume's room and asked her on a date. The next day, Yume was waiting for MC, but it wasn't long till a handsome man approached her. It was MC. Seeing MC dressed up like that was like a dream come true for Yume. She can't help but fan over him. Credits to whoever did the hair. They went inside and stood over the long queue line for tickets in the aquarium. Yep, they're going on an aquarium date. Usually couples go to date, making Yume overthink their situation. The more Yume looks at MC, her heart can't stop thinking about how handsome he is until the counter. They got their tickets and MC took her hand, dragging her inside. Meanwhile, two people were stalking them from behind. It was Minami and Kawanami. They're low-key having a date too, aside from stalking. MC knew about their stalking since it was part of Kawanami's plan. Before MC went to Yume that day, he met up with Kawanami, who gave him tips, dressed, and styled his hair. Their goal is to break two hearts with one stone. Kawanami told MC to praise Yume with her dress in a Sa's position. How about you kiss? He can't help but feel pressured by Kawanami and ends up saying Yume got a cute dress instead of a pretty one. Though MC finds it hard but manages anyway. He thought he had failed since Yume couldn't stop glaring at him. But in Minami and Kawanami's perspective, they look like they're getting along. However, the atmosphere between them is awkward and intense. The place was getting crowded, so MC pulled her closer to him. MC's perfume fogged Yume's brain, but she composed herself and glared at him. Seeing Yume glaring, MC felt bad for it, but she couldn't help but fall for him. They look more like a couple than siblings. Mission accomplished. After that, they took a break and went to their respective bathrooms. MC called Kawanami to talk about their situation, but Kawanami can't stop giggling since their plan is working. MC decided he couldn't let their awkwardness go on, so he had a plan. Meanwhile, Yume went to another CR and got lost on the way. Now she's sitting somewhere else in the building. Before she could throw a tantrum, MC called her and told her to stay wherever she was. This reminded Yume about her first date with MC, where she also got lost. She can't get over MC being gentle towards her instead of his usual bully. I'm quite convinced they're destined to be each other. Later, MC arrived with a drink for Yume, teasing her for not having a good sense of direction. It was gentle teasing, but enough to make each comfortable. The day continued, and the two step-siblings argued and debated countless things, from books to sharks. For MC, it was better to hate each other. Since they broke up, everything and everyone annoyed MC. But now the chain of being a couple is broken, so they have no obligation to save anything, or in short, they have nothing to lose since they're now step-siblings. For him, it's better than being their relationship. The day is ended, and they separately go home. Do they not live in the same house now? They do, but Yume goes home first and MC is just sentimental. Minami called out to MC from the back, pretending that they met coincidentally, not knowing MC knew they were following them till the end. Minami apologized to MC for breaking into their house the other day, reasoning that it was MC's fault for leaving the door open and unattended. But despite that, Minami wondered if MC would tell Yume about her. MC thought it and said he wouldn't as long as she knew the boundary. He chose not to since MC knew Minami was an important friend to Yume. It was a relief for Minami, but she refused to say thank you. Aside from that, MC wondered why she put a fifth chair on their dining table. Minami explained that she just likes to pretend to play and apologized, assuring him that he would be watching her action. Still, she won't stop forcing MC to marry her unless he'll find a partner to stop her. The day hadn't ended and Yume was still bothered about the girl, who was secretly Manami. She went into detective mode, but aside from that, she refused to end the date like that. MC later arrived home and Yume asked him to allow her to record him as one of the orders. MC can't refuse, so he went modeling mode while Yume was fanning over and spamming pics of him. Her relapse as an obsessive girl is inevitable. While they're at it, MC says that he will grant her one more wish. Of course, Yume didn't refuse and asked him shyly to hug her from the back and whisper in her ear. MC obviously enjoys this. He granted her wish and they hugged there closely for a little while. Monday came and they went to school. Turns out Yume and Manami's friendship is still doing great. Kawanami told MC to approach her whenever he got in trouble with Manami, so MC suspected that Kawanami was her ex-boyfriend. That's an unexpected turn of events. Back in junior high, the campus held a camp. One night, MC went out and looked at the moon. Yume was also there in the other room, also watching the moon. They shared a conversation over MC helping her with the curry ingredients and later watched the moon together. Even now, MC can remember that day vividly. It's probably one of his memory cores. In the present, Yume asked MC about their plan for the upcoming Mother's Day. MC couldn't bother much about it since he's not used to it. But Yume wants them to go look for a gift together since it would also be nice for her mom to see them as siblings thanking her. MC still refuses and only wants to spend the weekend doing nothing but reading his book. Yume lets him be but comes back dressed to go out. MC saw her and was starstruck seeing her ex dressed up nicely. He couldn't even hide his reaction since he dropped his book. Yume was more than satisfied seeing his reaction when he pointed out that siblings aren't supposed to look at each other like that. She's clever and bold for that. In the end, MC had no choice but to go. They ride the crowded train before getting there. Since it was crowded, a small shake from the train got MC to lose his balance and cabin into Yume. The gap is too close and MC is about to distance himself. But Yume told him that would be no use. Admit it, Yume, you like it that way. They arrived at the mall and soon picked out possible gifts to give. They were choosing it to be a frying pan or cutlery with their faces, but in the end, they got their mother a bouquet of flowers. They thanked their mother for caring for them and she cried joyfully. She tries to hide it by rushing to the kitchen and putting the flowers in a jar. Yume was glad to see her mother happy. However, for MC, he went to the altar to pray for her mother. Although, it would be nice to think MC got love from a mother through Yume's mom. Yume saw the door open and saw MC there. MC also noticed her peeping, so she went inside and comforted him by leaning against him, as her elder sister. After a while, MC and Yume stayed there to discuss some matters regarding their parents. MC told Yume he had a plan for his dad and stepmom. He wants them to have some time alone since they just got married and didn't get to enjoy their new life, blaming it on themselves. Yume thinks giving them dining or travel vouchers would be nice, but they can't afford that. For MC, he thinks it would be better if they'll spend a night somewhere else. Yume panicked over the thought of being alone with him instead. It's expensive to rent a room, and they can't rent one without their parents' approval to stay in a hotel. So the option is to rent a love hotel instead. I'm starting to think MC enjoys it anyway. Yume was so surprised that she would rather die than be in a place like that. A day later, MC found a way instead of a love hotel. MC will spend a night at Kawanami's boarding house, while Yume will be at Manami since they live beside each other. It would be like a double date then. The day had come, and Manami was excited about it. She secretly thanked him for giving her a chance with Yume alone. Kawanami was there to kill off her mood, telling her to behave and pointing out that Yume felt left out. So Manami went to her and clung to her arm, leaving the boys on the back. They went up the building and into their rooms, warning each other not to disturb their sanctuary. As they settled into their rooms, Yume and MC asked them about their relationship with each other. They explained that they used to hang out since primary school, like childhood sweethearts. Kawanami defended himself. That term applies to if they're still close friends, but in their situation, they are two worlds drifted apart. Yet physically, they're pretty close. The irony. MC didn't ask further questions, giving room for Kawanami to ask in return. He wondered at what stage MC and Yume were at regarding siblings, as if they had already seen her great melons. MC firmly replied that haven't seen it, and if he did, he wouldn't share it. That's a green flag. To tease MC, Kawanami loudly said, "I'm the only one who can see Yume's hills," referring it to what MC said. Kawanami got a loud banging on the wall as a reply from Yume while Manami was stopping him. Since he dared to tease MC, he gets his revenge back by tying up Kawanami in bed while he reads his diary out loud, which says he looks forward to his dream of being a police officer and marrying Manami. Another bang can be heard from the wall that now came from Manami too. Afterward, both groups went to a nearby restaurant for dinner. It was really awkward, but the silence was broken by Minami and Kawanami arguing about what to pick, like a love quarrel. But as they ate their dinner and picked up weird drinks, Minami went beside MC, asking for his help to study. But MC told her Yume is smarter since he just scores by instinct, not even trying to be impressive. Once they got to their room, MC was busy studying while Kawanami was texting Minami, complaining that MC is such a nerd for someone who scores by instinct. He asked MC about the examination, but scary is the only way to describe it, so he can't risk it and study. Kawanami felt bad, so he jerks up, feeling bad for relaxing. Can't interfere, it's a canon event. Later that night, when the city is half asleep, MC goes outside the balcony as well as Yume. They didn't expect each other's company, but it reminded them of their time in camp during junior high. They reminisce about the memory, and Yume almost confessed that she still felt something for him, but they set it aside and enjoyed the view as they slowly accepted the annoying fact that they would stay as step-siblings. Days pass, and the midterm examination is right on the corner. After class, Minami invited Yume to go home with her. But Yume politely refused and told Minami she would go to a study room. She wondered why, pouting like a baby. But their other friends got Yume's back and explained on her behalf that the midterm exam was right on the corner. They obviously gotta study. It's not all fun and love here. The pressure is also there since Yume topped the entrance exam, so she must work hard to remain at the top. After Yume arrived home, she went to study immediately. During her second junior year, she remembers that MC topped the class, and it was the first time that she didn't come top in a math exam. She didn't accept her defeat, so she studied hard and got top in the other math exam. But as she glanced at MC, he was busy looking out the window, as if he didn't mind that Yume got first. This is like a punch in the gut. However, as they first interacted in the library talking about books, MC acknowledged Yume for topping the math subject over a detective book. At that moment, Yume realized she wasn't the only one who cared. MC does too in a way that he doesn't show it. She snapped back from reality into the present, so she went out for a glass of milk, only to find MC leisurely with his book in the living room. It bothers her to see him carefree, so she reminds him to study. Since he still didn't do anything, Yume returned to her room after telling MC that he would lose to her because being on top was her designated place. MC got the challenge, so he was suddenly motivated to stop her. And that's a war between brains that I cannot participate in. The next day, as the siblings were on their way to school, MC saw how Yume was tired, concluding that she worked hard to get on top. Yume agreed that it means much to her since she came to the top of the entrance exam, and it's how she was shaped into. She's pressured like most top students are. The first day of the exam started and Yume answered them all. Ultimately, she scored a 94 on her test. She knows that MC is good at language, so if he gets a perfect score, being 6 marks behind is still a huge difference. She wondered what his score was, but later remembered that they now lived in the same house. She waited for MC to go downstairs before sneaking into his bedroom to see his score. But she couldn't believe it, so she impulsively flashed into the living room and scolded MC for not answering the last question. The question is too easy to answer, so she wonders why he didn't bother. MC just shrugged it out, but Yume didn't let it pass, not wanting to be the reason he purposely didn't perfect his tests. She also felt belittled by MC, not wanting to be treated like she was dumb and unworthy to be on top. Girls are complicated sometimes. Their mother witnessed this scary scene. Yume was about to throw hands at MC, but her mom stopped her. MC got enough and replied that Yume was desperate to stay on top. He purposely sacrificed himself, and now that he had done it, Yume was still angry at him. Their mother got scared and ran away, leaving the two alone as they continued to argue. In reality, Yume was confused because MC wouldn't normally do it before running to her room. Since the midterm exam wasn't finished yet, her motivation and dedication were fueled more after that consultation with MC, so she studied hard and sacrificed her sleep. Results are finally out, and Yume came second below MC. MC is a scary nerd. He understood how Yume felt, but for him, it was an advantage for Yume to not get pressured. She felt alone and belittled, but the cheer coming from Minami for reaching second made her tear. Her other friends even invited her for getting on top as they comforted her for doing her best. That's when he realized that she couldn't let MC treat her like that. She wanted to be dependable with him, so she rushed to the library looking for MC. As he did, she saw him talking to a wolf-cut girl named Isana Higashira. Should we switch sides? The two were reading a book peacefully when MC asked her what she thought about friendship. They continued to talk about the philosophical meaning of friendship. For him, Isana is the most like-minded friend she ever had, nothing more. School is closing, MC and Isana see Minami and Yume together. Isana suddenly felt scared dealing with extroverts, but their gap made Yume jealous and went away without them. Isana asked him who Yume was, so he explained that she was his stepsister, making Isana react cutely. She might be my new bias. Yume can't stop the jealousy that night, but she decides not to care about him again. During the past few days, her approach to MC changed, erasing the usual backlash and trouble, and instead was being gentle. This bothered him, so he opened up to Isana and asked for her advice. All she can say is to follow the path in his heart and set his reality into his ideal, but for her. It's hard since she can't read people easily. This gave MC an idea, concluding that he could read other people's faces better and quicker. He also assured her she shouldn't bother reading him because adjusting to their friendship isn't idealistic. If only a boy's best friend thinks like that, then girls wouldn't have a problem. Meanwhile, Yume enjoys not caring about MC, but that is short-lived when MC comes knocking on her door wearing her favorite fit and hairstyle. MC didn't say anything but only approached her till he cornered her. That's when he caressed her face and pointed out how her pulse went 2 times faster. It's something siblings shouldn't feel towards each other. After that tease play, they went into serious mode and MC told Yume that her distance was upsetting him. Because of that, she confessed she was jealous of Isana, wondering if it was okay to feel that way. But MC teased her and said that it's not how siblings feel, as they tease each other back to normal. A few days later, Yume and Isana met again, but they introduced themselves properly this time. Isana shook her hand, getting awkward by the girls, but she managed. So MC asked her directly if Isana had feelings for him, but how she wished she was a boy changed their perspective toward her. MC and Isana bid their farewell to each other and to the girls while he supported Isana for having the courage to talk to others. They look more like siblings to me. Another day in class, Isana found a letter in her locker revealing that someone knew her secret and invited her to a specific location to keep it quiet. However, it turned out to be a prank by Minami and Yume, though they were certain about her secret. They know that Isana has feelings for MC, even though she denies it and insists they're just friends. When they show her a video of MC sleeping, she can't help but blush because of it. Isana's denial of her feelings for MC was as convincing as a penguin claiming it can fly. Isana is unaware of having romantic feelings for anyone, including MC, as she's never experienced it before. If it turns out that she develops feelings for him, it would be her first experience with love. She also views MC solely as a friend, and as long as she can continue talking to him as usual, it will be enough for her. Her heart was like a cozy studio apartment with a no love allowed sign. Yume noticed similarities between herself and Isana during junior high school. Lack of self-confidence, fear of failure, and staying in situations she didn't enjoy. She had managed to overcome these challenges. Recognizing this, she offered Isana advice and encouraged her not to give up if she wanted to become MC's girlfriend. Their action plan starts with Isana observing their interaction in the library to think of a strategy, while Yume and Minami hide from them while watching their camera to zoom in and watch MC's reactions. But it seems like MC doesn't even care about Isana's big bazooka and even casually told her that her panties were showing. MC possessed an uncanny ability to remain blissfully unaware of Isana's assets. Minami suggests that Isana can rely on physical touch to remind MC that she is a girl. She believes that gradually this physical contact will leave an impression on his mind. Following Minami's advice, Isana decided to make a move by asking MC to look at her book while intentionally pressing her chest against him. In response, he again casually remarked that her breasts were touching him. So she revealed that she did it on purpose because she knew MC prefers girls with flat chests and only wanted to show him the beauty of larger breasts. Her intentional melon touching was an educational demonstration on the wonders of female anatomy, showcasing the beauty of curves to an unsuspecting connoisseur of flatness. For Isana, a couple is a relationship that's further than a friend. She doesn't want to sacrifice friendship just because she likes someone. Upon realizing their mistake, Yume and Minami apologize to Isana. They assure her they are not asking her to change and that she should be true to herself. However, they recognize that Isana's lack of confidence as a woman is an issue. In an attempt to help, they decide to transform her appearance and apply makeup. When MC notices the change in Isana's appearance, he mistakenly assumes that her reddish lips are due to eating fried food. As Isana attempts to get closer to him, he continuously moves away as he values his personal space greatly. If she persists, MC warns her he will show her what the hell is. His personal space was guarded like a precious treasure. Minami suggested confessing to MC already, as if she held it too long it might be hard for her, as he only sees her as a friend. Isana thinks of herself as gloomy and hard to deal with. Her only confidence is her bazookas. At least she has her faithful buoyant companions known as the twins. Isana, with the support of Minami and Yume, was getting ready to confess her feelings to MC. Despite feeling nervous, she expressed her true emotions and how grateful she was to have someone like him. However, MC, although happy to be around Isana and enjoying their time together, informs her that he cannot enter a romantic relationship with her. He explains that he can only reveal his true feelings to one person who doesn't have the right to be with him. Unfortunately, his person is occupying his space and refusing to leave. 8. As Isana spilled her guts about her feelings for MC, Yume and Minami secretly listen to their conversation. Ultimately, MC turns her down, revealing he has someone else in his heart. He reassured Isana that it wasn't her fault and that nothing was wrong with her. It was simply a matter of him having feelings for someone else. Sometimes, even the most perfect puzzle piece simply doesn't fit the intended picture. The episode starts with MC and Isana casually hanging out at their usual place like the confession and rejection haven't happened recently. Isana wonders if she can see MC's bookshelf, specifically which illustration he folded in the light novel. Then she can know which character enlightens his sex in his primary school or junior high school year. As if decoding the mysteries of his evolving taste in literature would reveal secrets of his romantic awakening. The day before Isana was scheduled to visit MC's house, she met up with Yume and Minami, who were excited. They planned to give Isana a makeover because they felt she shouldn't embarrass herself by wearing tacky clothes like usual. However, Isana didn't have any money on that day. Fortunately, Yume and Minami offered to cover the expenses under one condition. Isana agreed to wear whatever they chose for her and couldn't refuse. It was a fashion adventure filled with suspense and the promise of an unforgettable transformation. When Isana tried on the first outfit selected by Minami, she felt quite uncomfortable with it as it was too revealing and sexy for her taste. However, that wasn't the only thing that caught Yume and Minami's attention. They were shocked to see the twins in her chest were so big as a ball, which she described as the size of a G cup. In a surprising moment, Minami attempted to touch them, and it was the first time they realized how bouncy breasts could be. They then discover firsthand the buoyant nature and surprising bounce of Isana's ample assets. The main challenge was dealing with her large G-cup breasts. They understood that before proceeding, they needed to find a way to minimize or conceal her bust size. If they were to copy Yume's style completely, it would be considered a violation of the unspoken rules in the girls' world, where balance and individuality were important. Therefore, if Yume adopted a new style, their similarities would disappear. It was a challenge that left them on the edge of a style precipice, where the unspoken rules of the girls' world threatened to burst their fashion bubble. Yume avoided wearing clothes that accentuated her body curves for a long time. Looking back now, she realizes that she was quite naive back then. During her junior high school days, Yume had a boyfriend, and they agreed to date one weekend. She spent much time figuring out how to put together the perfect outfit until the last minute. When the date finally arrived, Yume wore something cute and lovely, a true master of the last-minute style Olympics. However, when her boyfriend saw her, he did not comment on her outfit or seem to pay much attention to it. Yume had been eagerly waiting for a compliment all day, but she started to believe that her outfit must have been so unattractive that he did not want to embarrass her by commenting on it. Yume's anticipation for a compliment on her meticulously planned outfit reached its peak, only to be met with her boyfriend's obliviousness. However, as they were about to part ways, her boyfriend unexpectedly told her that her outfit was cute and advised her not to wear a skirt outside unless they were indoors. This made Yume incredibly happy, and she couldn't stop giggling at home. From that day forward, she always dressed up to MC's liking, making it become a daily fashion ritual. When Isana arrives at MC's library-looking room, she immediately grabs a book and reads it. Yume was also there, who was quite shocked about the closeness of the two. For example, Isana can ask MC to massage her and put her socks on for the reason that she can't do it because her breast is a little too big. It was a surprising display of intimacy and humorous creativity that left Yume questioning the boundaries of friendship and the true extent of Isana's teasing prowess. In the end, Isana could enjoy her stay at MC's house, and even though she was still hurt because of the rejection, she was happy to have a friend like MC. 9. After Isana visited MC's home, he couldn't help but compare whether, if he and his ex didn't date but got along with each other as a friend as he has with Isana, will they be able to maintain their relationship? However, he soon realizes that such an assumption is meaningless because he and his ex can never replicate his unique connection with Isana. Trying to recreate the magic of their bond would be as pointless as attempting to fit a square peg into a triangular hole. In the past, when MC and Yume were in a romantic relationship before becoming step-siblings, there was an occasion when MC invited Yume into his room. It was a significant moment as it was the first time he had invited a girl into his room, and likewise, it was Yume's first time being in a guy's room. As the time came for Yume to leave and go home, she couldn't help but reflect that she and MC had been together for half a year, holding hands and sharing kisses. She believed their relationship was progressing, and they were on the verge of crossing the line. However, on that particular day, nothing significant happened between them. Cupid pressed the pause button, leaving their love story in suspense. At the same time, MC was also feeling upset with himself. He had prepared himself for that day, but his plans didn't come to fruition. It is as if fate was playing a teasing game with their emotions. MC and Yume were placed in different sections during their third year. MC was in Section 1, while Yume was in Section 2. Yume was concerned that her school life would be boring and she wouldn't make any friends. To ease Yume's worries, MC reassured her they could still meet at the library after school, making it the regular meeting spot. "Fear not, for our relationship shall thrive beyond the classroom walls." MC said, "Let the library be our sanctuary, where we shall meet after school." However, everything changed when Yume made a new friend after noticing her reading a book. She was thrilled to have someone besides MC to spend time with and began being late multiple times to their usual hangout because she was with her friend. When MC asked if they could hang out one weekend, Yume declined as she already had plans with her. This time, MC had to navigate the unfamiliar territory of not being Yume's sole weekend companion. This made MC quite sad, and when Yume was late again, he unintentionally raised his tone while talking to her. That night, he immediately regretted his actions and promised to apologize to her the following day. However, when Yume finally refuses her friend's invitation and meets MC on time at the library, she is taken aback. She did not expect to see MC talking to another girl or occupying her usual spot. When Yume confronted MC about seeing him with another girl in her usual spot at the library, she misunderstood the situation completely. She began to speculate that the girl had been taking her place on the days she was late, leading to their first major misunderstanding. In this moment of miscommunication, their relationship weathered its first major storm, reminding them of the importance of open dialogue and clarifying intentions. MC reflected on his behavior, realizing his stubbornness and jealousy, leading him to raise his tone at Yume. The following day, they coincidentally bumped into a bookstore by chance. Taking the initiative, MC decided it was time to reconcile with Yume to avoid having to pretend around each other at school. He sincerely apologized for his actions in the library. However, Yume remained silent, not offering an apology in return. This made MC question whether they just reconciled for the sake of reconciling. Her silence in response left him questioning whether she had secretly enrolled in the silent apology school. After not seeing each other for over a month, the anniversary of their relationship arrived and Yume eagerly anticipated MC to reach out to her. However, he never made any contact. As Christmas and Valentine's Day came and went, they celebrated without each other. When graduation approached, MC brought up the topic of breaking up and Yume agreed. They decided to part ways. However, just a few days later, MC's father introduced him to his future step-sibling, who turned out to be his ex-girlfriend, Yume. It was a plot twist that left them both dumbfounded, realizing their paths were destined to entangle once again in the most unexpected ways. 10 in the previous episode, we saw MC and Yume's past relationship and how a simple misunderstanding caused their breakup. And to make matters even more complicated, MC's dad introduces him to his future step-sibling, who turns out to be his ex-girlfriend, Yume. Talk about a plot twist. That day, the train got canceled due to a typhoon, which meant their parents couldn't make it home. As a result, Yume and MC found themselves sleeping together in his bed due to the power outage and because there was a cockroach in Yume's bedroom before the lights went off. Yume joked that she was sure he wouldn't try anything, as he didn't do anything when they were in a relationship and sharing the same room. After a while, when they were now sleeping, MC faced her, and that was the first time in a very long time he saw her face that close. Despite the breakup and the complicated step-sibling situation, it was difficult for MC to act as if nothing had happened or pretend he didn't care. Some connections are simply too intricate to be ignored, even when circumstances complicate matters. The following day, Yume jokingly blamed MC for his fear of bugs, which led to her sleeping in his room. Their parents found the situation amusing as they appeared like a couple in a funny predicament. It just goes to show that laughter brings people together even in the quirkiest of circumstances. They even teased that their relatives in their hometown would make jokes about them during the Obon festival. In the countryside, the entertainment revolved around water play, so Yume's mom suggested she buy a swimsuit since she only had her school swimsuit. Yume's mom even convinced MC to accompany her on this shopping trip. As Yume asked for MC's opinion on the swimsuit she had chosen, he questioned why he had agreed to accompany her in the first place. His panic grew when he saw her in a sexy and seductive swimsuit, making it challenging to find the right words. Instead of giving a direct compliment, he awkwardly mentioned that she was a thoughtful person. MC should consider investing in a dictionary of smooth talk or a crash course in compliment giving. That response left Yume feeling unsatisfied, and she expressed her disappointment. When MC finally looked at her, he misunderstood her question, thinking she was asking him to compliment her physique rather than asking for his opinion on the swimsuit. Sometimes our minds take unexpected detours, leading to comical moments where the right words escape and hilarity ensues. While walking home, Yume and MC unexpectedly found themselves in a familiar location where they shared a kiss in the past. As the wind picked up, Yume's cup flew away. They found themselves face to face in a romantic moment. She closed her eyes, reminiscing about their previous kisses, while MC closed his eyes briefly. However, in a playful twist, MC flicked Yume's forehead instead of leaning in for another kiss. Love can be unpredictable, and sometimes a forehead flick takes precedence over a romantic embrace, creating laughter and playful surprises along the way. When they watched a movie, Yume was screaming inside about how Isana and MC's postures were a couple alike. Isana zips down her jacket that shows her cleavage and even scratches it casually like no other people around her. Yume thought that the next moments were probably MC putting his hands on Isana's breast and her replying it was itchy, asking MC if they could be married and him answering yes. Oh, the joyful and imaginative realms our minds can explore. After hours of watching the movie, MC asked Yume to pass him the drink she was holding, but she hesitated and did not make any additional movements. Instead, she handed him her drink. This gesture made Isana realize they had an indirect kiss. Although it meant nothing romantic, she wondered if such interactions were normal among family members. Isana left thinking about the peculiar ways that thirst can be filled and the complexities of family dynamics. The movie was long, so MC started feeling sleepy. Isana playfully suggested that he could rest his head on her lap for a nap, which Yume opposed. Isana even jokingly mentioned offering a free ear-cleaning service, which MC had a fear of and was hesitant about. He ended up falling asleep unexpectedly in Yume's lap instead. MC unintentionally dozed off into a dream and found comfort not in Isana's lap but in Yume's soft cushion. 11 MC and Isana's relationship came up during a conversation with Yume's mom. It was understandable why Yume's mom would ask about their relationship because they did look like a couple. Yume's mom then jokingly suggested finding a charismatic boyfriend to level the playing field and not let MC have the upper hand. But for Yume, it is not a competition and she should patiently wait. The finest strategy for playing the game of love is to believe in the heart's timing and the power of the unexpected. When they arrived in their hometown, they reunited with their grand-aunt Nasume Arito, who was delighted to see them back. She even inquired about the bond between MC and Yume, asking if they were getting along well. They also encountered Madoka and Chikuma, who would be Yume's cousins. Madoka invited them to a barbecue party by the riverside, playfully reminding Yume not to forget to bring her swimsuit. Don't worry, she'll remember it like her life depends on it. After all, MC helped her choose it. Madoka notices that Yume has a slim body and a tiny waistline. She playfully asks Yume, who picks out her swimsuits, knowing that MC is sitting under a tree engrossed in a book. Madoka feels it is unfair because MC never used to talk to her in the past. She had cared for him since kindergarten, but he always ignored her whenever she tried to speak to him. The irony of past interactions can sometimes come back to haunt us. That night, Madoka advised Yume to find MC, likely in his great-grandfather's study room, and ask him to bathe. When Yume spotted MC reading a book, she felt concerned that he hadn't placed a bookmark and casually closed it. However, MC reassured her that he could remember the book perfectly since he only read it in that particular place and reread it every year when they returned to their hometown. The power of memory and the sentimental attachment to a special place. The book was titled Siberia's Dancing Girl and was the autobiography of MC's great-grandfather. The book chronicled his great-grandfather's life during his 3 to 4 year stay in Siberia around 1945. MC offered the book to Yume, encouraging her to read it to learn more details. As Yume immersed herself in the story, she got emotional and shed tears, causing them to fall onto the book's pages. When she went to wipe the tears away, she noticed faint tear marks on the pages, indicating that MC had also shed tears while reading that particular part. It's a poignant reminder of their shared emotional connection with the story and how literature can touch our hearts in profound and unexpected ways. While choosing a kimono for the summer festival, Madoka noticed that Yume seemed preoccupied with something. She asked if something had happened between her and MC. After a brief pause, Madoka began speculating whether Yume had developed a crush on MC. She felt that Yume was dismissing her feelings and searching for a way to avoid dating MC. To help her friend, Madoka suggested that Yume clarify her emotions. However, Yume was unsure of what to do next, so she offered herself and left the work to her. The complexities of navigating emotions and relationships. Madoka arranged for Yume and MC to have some uninterrupted time together in a room, assuring them that no one would disturb them for the next 30 minutes. At first, Yume was lost in contemplation, unsure how to begin the conversation. However, after gathering her courage, she approached MC. He was her first love, and when he decided to break up with her, she felt relief, believing that her pain, sorrow, and loneliness would finally disappear. But now, as Yume looked back on their past, she couldn't help but regret what had transpired. If only they hadn't broken up, if only she had reached out to him during summer break, if only she had given him a present at Christmas, if only she had made him chocolate on Valentine's Day, and if only she had rejected his desire to end their relationship. These thoughts weighed heavily on her heart. That was all she wanted to express to him. However, despite her best efforts, no words seemed to come out. Seeing Yume's tears, MC understood the depth of her emotions, and it was enough for him to let go of any lingering reservations and allow them to revisit their past together. Sometimes understanding without words can bridge the gaps of the past and open the door to new possibilities. 12 in the last episode, when they return to their hometown, Yume mistakenly thinks that Madoka is MC's first love when it is her. Quite a whirlwind of mistaken assumptions and tangled emotions. Madoka expressed her emotions when she saw Yume wearing a cute kimono. MC was also wearing a kimono, which made Yume want to take a picture of him, but he ended up taking a picture of them. It is a delightful reminder that even amidst unforeseen moments and playful surprises, memories are created that can light up our lives like fireworks in the night sky. Madoka suggested they hold hands like how she held Chikuma, but MC denied the thought as they were old enough not to get lost in a crowded place. Well, not for Yume, as she intertwined their hands, saying it was normal for siblings to do so. Ah, the innocence and polar perspectives of holding hands, as they decided to try their luck at a shooting stall. Chikuma eagerly gave it a shot with Madoka's assistance, which made Yume wonder about the closeness of the siblings. Unfortunately, they failed in the game. Seeing Chikuma's disappointment, Madoka encouraged MC to try it, as Chikuma wanted to win the prize. As MC positioned himself, Madoka suggested that Yume help him as an older sister. It was a simple back hug to assist him in aiming for the prize. MC was unsure of the purpose behind this act, but as Yume leaned in to support him, she accidentally lost her balance and her chest lightly touched his back. They won the prize to their surprise, much to Chikuma's delight and gratitude. The comedic twist of an unexpected outcome is hilarious. MC could not help but wonder if Yume's actions during the shooting game were intentional, so he decided to ask her about it. To his relief, Yume assured him that her intentions were innocent and that she wasn't a pervert. However, she didn't miss the opportunity to fire back at him playfully. Yume pointed out that MC might be more accustomed to such closeness and sudden interactions with Isana, who often gets physically close to him without hesitation. The playful banter and friendly teasing that arise from moments of misinterpreted actions. Their family was noble, so someone could reserve a pot for them to view the fireworks. They were about to go there, but they noticed that MC was not there, so Yume decided to go and look for him. MC has felt a lack of genuine connection to the world around him for as long as he can remember. It seemed that whatever he did didn't truly resonate with him. He never intended to mimic the character of no longer human, but rather he found himself unable to relate to others fully and simply went through the motions of living. The praise and pity he received from people puzzled him, leaving an ever-expanding void within his heart. The only time MC truly felt in touch with his emotions was when he immersed himself in the world of words. The impact of reading his great-grandfather's book, Siberia's Dancing Girl, still lingers within him. Yume, too, shared a similar connection with the world of imagination. Initially, the relationship felt natural. However, MC was deeply frustrated during their first date at the summer festival. He could not comprehend how someone could be so fragile and unable to function properly when left alone. Nevertheless, Yume had left an indelible mark on his heart even deeper than the impact of reading a novel. It is a testament to the mysterious power of human connection, where real-life experiences can have an emotional impact and depth that surpasses even the most profound literary works. When Yume finally found MC, they started reminiscing about their shared past, playfully teasing each other. Curiosity got the better of her, and she asked MC why he had agreed to date her. He responded that it was likely because of destiny. If he had met Isana before her, he probably wouldn't have entered a relationship with Yume. However, what mattered most was that it was her. As the fireworks lit up the night sky, they watched the colorful display together. In that magical moment, Yume made her move and kissed MC for the second time in her life. With that kiss, she declared her intention to compete for the one spot in MC's heart.